Dearest viewers, you may be wondering why we're late today. The blame lies squarely on Dave's shoulders. I want everyone to have a moment of silence as we judge him. Feel bad, Dave? Hello, everyone. Welcome to Season 3 of Adventures in Northbound. So we're playing a homebrew Pathfinder 1E campaign set in a land of ice and snow, as I say every time. Let's introduce our resident heroes. Dave plays our human rogue, Angelus, Angelus the chronically late. Ad plays our half-elf ranger, Ulf, and Lee plays our half-elf cleric, Giles. So last session was a bit of a mishmash session, if I can say that properly. Our party went to see a McCain, a strange, mysterious, otherworldly trader of exotic goods. They traded a spellbook for a rig of protection, and they went to see a wizard. Oh, what's that? Is this a branded session? Oh, McCain's lunches. Hilarious. Yeah, not McCain. I don't think I can recover from that, Lee. The party then went to see the wizard Gunter and noticed that there was a mysterious figure following them. As Giles and Ulf entered Gunter's tower, getting past the talking door, Angelus decided to slip down an alleyway and hide, unnoticed by the person. He was followed into the alleyway and he heard the person cry, Angelus? Angelus, is that you? We'll start with Dave. You're currently crouched behind an old broken crate in a scratty alleyway. I described the pig scratching around, a cat watching impatiently, the mud and filth pouring out between the alleyway. It's rained recently, it's a bit puddly, and the stench is not great, but it's providing significant amount of shadow for you to get a nice stealth behind this crate. You don't think this person's seen you, but they're looking around, trying to peer into the darkness, going, Angelus, are you here? Angelus?
Okay, I'll shout out from the shadows, who goes there?
As you say this, the figure pulls back the hood on his head. And you know this person from your former life in Hindle, a member of the Hindle Hounds. This person is a fellow member of the small-time gang that you were a part of. His name is Odder, but his moniker, if that's the right word for it, his code name was Whelp. What was your code name, Dave? They're mostly dog related in the old Hindle Hounds.
Biscuits.
Fido.
I can't remember. What was my code name? Can't remember if I don't know if I wrote that.
I don't think you did have one. Like, we're just making stuff up. If you can't think of one in 3 seconds, I'll make one for you.
Let's go with that. Let's see what you come up with.
Come on, Fifi.
Let's go with Raven.
Raven's so dog related.
That famous dog. Raven.
Oh dear.
Raven the dog.
Raven the dog. So, okay, your code name was Raven. Completely off theme for the rest of the old Hindle Hounds. He says, Raven, it's me. Whelp.
Seriously, Raven's not going to do it. That just sounds
Raven's not going to do it.
Can we call him Fred?
Fred.
Let's not go with Fred.
What about Claus? Claus, as in like
Claus. Yeah, let's go with that.
Claus, not like Santa Claus. He goes, Claus. It's Whelp. Come out.
Well, it's nice to meet you again. Okay, I'll come out from the shadows and unmask and approach him.
He looks at you and he says, I didn't know you were in Pient. Last I heard, you were at Thrin.
I get about.
He nods. How long have you been in Pient for?
A day or two now.
Can I get a sense motive from you, please, Dave?
Sure thing. Oh, natural 20. Where's my sense motive on here now?
We should have done a sense
28
status.
28. You sense this is a bit more of a interrogation than a casual conversation. He's acting a little bit shifty. There's something not quite right about his body posture. He seems almost a bit guarded from you.
Okay.
He says, have you seen anyone else from the hounds in Pient at all?
Can't say I have. Why, do you know somebody being here?
He
Sure.
shakes his head slowly.
So what brings you to Pient?
I've just been living here for a little while. We got busted a few years ago, and most of us went our separate ways. And I've been living here for a little while.
Okay.
He
So,
moves a bit closer to you, and he says, "I've heard of a bit of a racket going on here. Are you interested in a job?"
What kind of job?
He looks down and he lowers his voice, and you can barely hear him. And he says, "There's a job. There's a job down by the docks." And he sort of, waves you a bit closer.
Okay. I'll lean in a little closer. Tell me about this job.
He takes out his knife and he goes, "I'm not going down like the Brindle brothers, you son of a bitch." And he stabs you 3 times in the kidney. Can you, what's your AC, Dave?
All because I was late. My AC is 16.
16. So that is a hit. He is a rogue. He gets sneak attack. So that is 3d6 minus 1 from this guy. First roll is 2. Second roll is 2. Final roll is 5. So that is 9 damage in total. Oh, sorry, minus 1. That is 8 damage in total that you take. You also are unable to do any attacks of opportunity this round because of the special ability that he has associated with his sneak attack. And can you roll for the next combat round, please?
Sure thing. Okay, so I rolled 16.
Okay, plus your initiative.
Plus my initiative is plus 7. So 23. Yeah.
This guy gets 26, so he goes first. He's going to go for the stab again. He rolls a natural 20. I promise you these are legit rolls. I promise you these are legit rolls, Dave. See if that confirms that critical. He rolls a 5. Let's have a look at his attack modifier.
Were these Brindle brothers somewhere that Dave dumped in?
Dave knows the Brindle brothers. As far as Dave was aware, they're alive and well. They were 2 members of the Hindle Hounds. Young brothers. They were called the Brindle brothers because of the distinctive birthmark they had on their heads. So Brindle refers to a certain type of coat of a dog. So they were twins with the same birthmark underneath their hair. So that's why they were the Brindle brothers. It was quite a simple nickname. Let's have a quick look. Sorry, I'm just looking for this person's attack bonus. Plus 5, plus 7. No, that's not enough to hit. Oh, I'm hearing myself. That's the stream. That's why. He gets a hit on you. Unfortunately, It's still a sneak attack because he catches you flat-footed. 1, 2, 2. That's 5 minus 1. That's 4. 4 damage, please, Dave.
Okay.
Your turn.
Oh, good. I'm going to. Oh God, I'm going to have to attack him with envy.
Nice.
So, yeah, I go for a swing. I go swing with my axe. Roll 18. With my melee, that's plus 4, so 22. I think.
22 is certainly a hit on this guy. Roll for damage.
What am I? How many d6s am I? 1d.
You're 1d6 because unfortunately you're not catching him off guard.
Cool.
However, you've got envy that does give you some nice bonuses.
Cool. Well, I rolled 5. So
I believe envy is she plus 8? I've got the wrong character sheet up prior to envy.
I'm
Your
plus
attack
7.
bonus should be on there. Are you sure plus 7?
Oh no, hang on, 1. Try and read it. Oh, one-handed. Is that one-handed? 1 HP.
Have you got your old character sheet up? Have I made
No,
the
I've
mistake?
got the
of
latest one.
sheet?
One with envy on.
Can't help you out
Awesome.
with this. I don't have this character sheet at all.
It's fine. I've loaded it. Oh yes, it's plus 7 to hit face to face. Yeah, sorry. I thought you were throwing plus 9. Yeah, sorry. Plus 7 to hit, and it's 1d6 plus 3. So you rolled 5, didn't you?
Yeah.
I'm afraid that's a miss, Dave.
What?
5 plus 7. That's only 12.
12. No, that's what I roll with me d6.
That's for
Oh, to
damage.
hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's damage.
Did you roll to hit on a d20?
Yeah.
Oh.
23.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, that was a hit. So yeah, sorry. D6 plus 3, 7 damage. Okay, I'll put that down. Sorry, that was me being confused there. Don't know why I was so confused. This guy is going to peg it. He's going to eat the attack of opportunity, and he is going to run. Can you roll for the attack of opportunity, Dave?
Sure thing. So one more roll in the d6, yeah? So
No, D20 to hit.
18 again.
That is going to be a hit. Could you roll for damage for me?
Sure thing. 4.
4.
I rolled. What is that? 1d.
You do the plus 3.
So 7.
7. So that's another 7. So 14 in total. He has spent his full round running away from you. So he is 60 foot away from you now.
Okay.
It's your turn.
I'll go for a throw.
Nice.
If I can. Let's see what happens with that. 9. I rolled.
What, 9
That's-
plus your 9?
No, 9 plus 7 into I think. I'll take 9 then. What? 16.
9
then.
further away. Oh, sorry. He's 60 foot away from you.
Oh, 60.
Yeah, he's 60 foot away from you. Sorry. I've got too many things open at once.
So that's plus 1 then, isn't it?
There we go. Yes, 60 foot away. 40, 50, 60. That's minus. It would be -2 for 60 foot away.
Okay,
Sorry,
so
-1 for 60 foot away. So that's only 8. So I'm afraid that's not going to hit. Envy ends up back in your hand because of the returning, and he decides to peg it another 60 feet. He's now 120 foot away.
I'm gonna casually leave that.
Okay, you're just going to let him go. He says he's shouting as he's running, saying, "I see you again. I'll cut you like a fish."
Cool. You're late again. I'll gut you like a fish.
Next time.
And he's just like running down the alley, like shitting himself. Not down the alley, down the street, like broad daylight, just scarpering. So yeah, how do you feel after that encounter? You saw an old friend. You said you didn't have the best relationship with the Hindle Hounds.
No, I don't. But
What happened story wise before? What caused the rift between you and the Hounds?
as memory serves, and notes, I can't remember. Oh man.
Did you sleep with her wife?
No, I think I think a job came up that he wanted me to do when I deemed it not worthy. Well, I thought I wasn't going to kill somebody for where it was. Maybe
Yeah.
something along them lines.
Fair enough. So you rejected a job, so you were kicked out of the Hounds.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. And that's why you started travelling south. Not really been in a hostile situation with them before. Certainly not had one of them try and gut you and shout, I'll gut you like a fish the next time I see you. A bit unusual. And you've also heard that the Brindle brothers are dead, which is also new information.
Yeah.
So yeah, what do you do now then? You're alone in this alleyway, bleeding slightly. You've have a few wounds on you. Probably kidney hurts a bit because of the old kidney stab he's given you.
Cool. I am going to have. I've got a healing potion on me. I think I've got one for moderate, one light. I'm going to go with the. I'm going to go with the moderate healing wound.
You're going to heal yourself, are you? Fair enough.
I think so, yeah.
2d8 plus 2 then, please, Dave.
2d8. Okay, 2d8. First one is 8.
Nice.
Second one is 7.
Cool.
So
you heal
15.
yourself by 17.
17. Nice. Okay. Sweet.
Nice one.
Thank you.
So the guys are in Gunter's, which is just literally round at the end of the alleyway. The door there. Are you going to join them, or shall I cut straight to them?
Yeah, I'm going to head over to them.
Okay. So as you go over, you see that the door's still open, and they're standing inside. So as Dave starts entering this room, you guys have gone through this weird talking magical door that was asking you purpose. You've come in. The room is dark, smoky, wooden floors. I do have a picture that I will switch to of this place. It looks like your typical office, but there's some magical ornaments around the room. In particular, there's a nice crystal ball in the table on the center. There is a table in the corner with a pentagram on it, a book in the center. And you see, sitting at the main table, looking into the crystal ball and the fires, the fires of the candle, you see a figure clad in a robe. And without looking up, he says, "Are you guys the mercenaries that I sent for?"
I mean, that's one thing you could call us.
He nods. He says, What is your mercenary group's name?"
The Dead Ringers.
The Dead Ringers.
Really?
I like that.
Wouldn't say we go by a name. We're more known for our reputation.
He says, "You're not the mercenaries I sent for, but sometimes the mercenaries that come to you are the best for the job. Why are you here?"
I look at. Ooh. Decided for him to explain.
I also look at Ulf.
Ulf's the only one who takes notes.
Yeah, apparently not. Did we come to see him? I came to see him just to ask about Wraith, I think.
Yeah.
Wrath, even.
I think you were asked to also go there to find out more about the Slogric.
Yeah, that
Mysterious
that
creature
was
as well.
it?
So a couple of things.
Yeah.
But yeah, you were going to ask about Wrath.
Yeah, so I'll say, yeah, we're going to hunt Slogric, so any information you might have on this would be much needed.
Slogric? He raises his eyebrow slightly. He says an unusual creature spawned from the abyss when they infect troglodytes. Strange creatures. I don't have a lot of information at the top of my head, but I'm sure I have a book lying around somewhere that I could procure. I tell you what, I'll dig out some information for you if you dig something out for me. I've got somewhat of a problem.
Go on.
I'm a conjurer of sorts. I summon helpful creatures from other realms for the Herseer of the city. The lady Liv's daughter. I am a conjurer of relative favour, but I don't summon things of great power. I was asked to conjure some otherworldly ice that would keep the ice house cool during the summer. And I made a slight mistake with the incantation. I summoned a creature known as a chiton, which is a native to the realms of hell. It's skulking in there right now. It's already killed a few workers in the ice house, and we've had to close the place. There's a lot of food, supplies, and also it's not good to have a creature of hell roaming around a city. It'll stick to where it's cold, but come the winter, it will escape and it'll terrorize the city. I've been trying to hire some mercenaries to get rid of it, but so far no one's been up to the job.
Have we come across one of these before?
You say hellhound?
No, a chiton.
Chiton. What was that thing that jumped through the portal? Was that not a chiton?
No.
No.
That was a barghest.
Ah, yeah.
That was a creature of the abyss. This is a creature of hell. They're two different subrealms in D&D. Do you want to does anyone have a knowledge of planar creatures? No one does, do they? Knowledge nature from Ad might be the closest thing.
Yeah, I learned that book, didn't I? That creature book.
Yeah, do you want to give me a straight knowledge?
Yeah.
Oh. Sorry, straight intelligence. I'll take a straight intelligence from everyone, actually.
18, 20 altogether then.
20.
Not 20. Intelligence. Base mod on intelligence or full base score?
So what I'm after is the base mod, please.
Base mod, so my intelligence plus 1. So 21.
16.
21. 16. So Lee, not something you've heard of before, a chiton. Dave, Ad, all you know is they're known as some sort of ice devil. You don't see them that often. Like, people tell tales of chitons being big, ugly chain monsters in the snow that grapple people and eat them alive. That's all you know. They're like the boogeyman of bitter winters.
Could I make one a pet?
You could try.
Okay. That's all I need to know.
He takes out a hand and just waves, and a book comes over, and he says, I've got some knowledge on the chiton right here. They are despicably cruel creatures, and they feed on the fear and suffering of mortals, and they have a monstrous disposition. They are incredibly powerful, and unfortunately, they will consume everyone they can get hold of. They're an evil creature from hell, and they are relatively powerful.
Yeah, not for us guys. See you later.
Has this one consumed many people?
He nods slightly, and he says at least 2 people.
Do you know what their weakness is?
He nods. He says that this one is alone, which is a key thing with these creatures. However, they are weak against good or silver, or even magical weapons.
Okay, I can think of 2 of them that we have.
There's
He
plenty
says-
of silver things.
He says otherwise, if you don't use a silver weapon or weapon blessed by someone who's good, or a magic, or alternatively a magical weapon, it will fend off most attacks, all but the mightiest.
So,
He looks at the weapons that you have, Dave and Ad, and he says those weapons will bypass the resistance of this creature. And you, and he looks at the symbol round your neck, Lee. I imagine you have spells that would be able to take care of such a creature easily.
Just no good. There's
Okay,
definitely
and
no
also,
good around here anymore.
While you're looking at our weapons, can you tell me any more about this one?
He says, well, this one is particularly hungry. They are creatures that like to use chains to bind their enemies. Some of the worst ones are creatures with they like to chain up their enemies and feed on their fear. They like to take people at range. Unfortunately, the ice house is an ideal environment for it to climb up into the rafters and restrict its foes. They also have the ability to control the chains around them telepathically and do many damaging attacks.
Okay.
The best thing would be to close in close, close in fast, and deal with it that way.
Okay.
What was you going to offer these mercenaries in return for taking care of this creature from hell?
He cocks his head and he says, well, I'll give you the information on the Slogric. I also might be inclined to pay you handsomely as well. I am Gunter the Wizard, of course. I'm sure you've all heard of me.
Okay, Gunter.
Only from people in town.
He nods. He says, unfortunately, one of the curses of being a wizard is you're known throughout the many realms, but in your own town, you're a bit of a pariah. I don't often leave this study.
Right.
So where's this? I really need to write these things down more clearly. Kyan?
Kyton.
Kyton. That's
Close.
the
He sort of in a patronizing way goes, Kyton. He says it's known as a chain devil.
Okay.
So, how
You'll
much
be able
you
to
get?
find it in the ice house. Oh, sorry. What did
There
you
you
say,
are,
Dave?
sorry. Let's see, how much exactly is it that you're willing to pay? Ballpark?
He says if you can procure for me the whole body,
Oh, you want the bodies?
I will pay you as proof, relatively intact. They're creatures of interesting study. This one is a female specimen, which you don't often see. I will pay you 2,000 gold.
Each.
He shakes his head. 2,000 gold as a bounty for the body. And the information on the Slogric, and any other information that you may want to have about the The magical realms.
Okay. We'll go have a look at this chitin for you and see if we can take care of it.
He nods. He says the best time that the chitin is the least active is in the morning, just as the sun's rising. The magic on the ice house will be at its weakest.
The magic on the ice house?
He nods. The magical ice that I summoned, remember? I summoned them from the coldest realms of hell. That's the most logical thing to do.
Okay.
Okay. What time of day were we on?
You guys are in the evening. Had quite a full day. You
How many
haven't
days
slept
was it
since
we had?
escape. Sorry? Oh,
How many days was it we had till that ultimatum? Was it with
you
my
had
father?
5 days.
Day.
But it's the same day. So you
Okay.
guys fled to the outskirts this morning, came to the city, went to see Vigo, found out that Vigo didn't want to see you until tomorrow. You went to the McCain, but you saw the blacksmith, got the weapon envy. You've done quite a lot today. You haven't slept yet or found a place for you to book for the night, and it's getting quite late in the day.
Gunter, do you have a room we could have for the night? Place to stay, place to sleep.
You think I'm operating an inn?
We need our rest in order to take care of this creature for you tomorrow. It's getting quite late, so we could do somewhere to rest now.
I think didn't we see the salty mermaid, something like that, was it?
He nods. He says the old salt maiden.
That's the one, Salt Maiden, yeah.
He says there's the inn at the port. There is also the Salt Kiss, which is also the brothel nearby if you're so inclined. Either way, we'll give you a bed for a night.
Cracking. Should we head to one of those then?
Yeah. This guy's obviously not going to look after us for the night.
He puts his hands together, and the book that's open with a picture of a blue chained figure, the chitin, it snaps shut, and you see a small, like, bulbous, hunched over creature with tiny wings. Like, snap it shut, it appears out of nowhere, it huddles it back up, and it goes to put it back in the bookcase, and then it claps his hands together and disappears.
Nice. Can you do that, Giles?
No. Nothing like that.
Cool. Should we head to the Salty Maiden?
Yeah, let's go get a pint.
Cool.
Let's do it.
You guys head to the tavern at the port. It's easy to find. You've already been there. It's right next to the Seer's place that you went to last time.
While we're there, or on the way there, would I notice that Dave's not walking quite right?
I think Dave looks relatively ruffled up, and there's probably enough blood that's come out of his wound that his outfit's a little bit stained as well, being stabbed in the kidney several times.
So I'll just ask him, everything okay, Angelus?
Yeah. Just a thorn in my sides. Come back.
Anything we need to be worried about?
I don't think you guys need to be worried about it, but just I think somebody's going to try and kill me whilst we're here.
Okay. Any description of this guy who might come after you again?
Yeah, he's part of my old town gang, the Heimdall Hounds, and his name's Whelp. He's a bit of a shifty character,
And he obviously has some beef with you.
He's got some beef. He's blaming me for the death of the Brindle brothers, I believe.
And are you responsible for the death of the Brindle brothers?
I mean, I've killed a lot of people, but not these ones.
Not those.
No, no. I think I've been framed.
Good to know. I bet you better sleep with one eye open, or you at least better.
Yeah, I'll sleep one eye. Yeah, but knowledge is power. So we need to either. Well, I don't think there's any point of finding this guy. I think we wait for him to find us.
Okay.
Because he was following us back there. So we'll see how that goes.
So as you guys walk along, it's not long till you guys get to the boardwalk and then off the boardwalk and onto the port. You see a very large building on your left-hand side. You notice it's starting to get a little bit late, a little bit darker in the sky. Whilst it's spring, it's still a bit dark past 6 o'clock. You notice that there's a couple of men drunkenly entering. You see the door swing open. There's a giggling woman in the door, beckoning them in, and they're like taking out their coin purses and heading in. And you see the sign of a pair of lips and a salt shaker. And a couple of doors down, you see the old CRS's place, and then you see the woman, the mermaid, and again the salt shaker next to it, and you see the salt maiden with its doors wide open, lit fire inside, and hearty bar staff waiting to serve you. You see an interesting figure in the bar, actually, in the tavern, and it's a dwarf behind the bar, and it's quite multi-species. This place, you've seen a lot of humans, not a lot of other people, but you see some incredibly shorter creatures there. You see some dwarves which are sort of middle-sized on the short side, and you see the creature with flaming red hair in there as well from the McCain ship, and lots of people just drinking and talking around the bar. There's a free table if you want to go straight there, but there's also the dwarf behind the bar.
I'll go up to the dwarf behind the bar and go, anything you recommend?
We'll take a seat. I'll take a seat.
I'll join Giles.
He says, I've got a beer. So fiery it'll melt Orfarth's beard.
How about chitin?
A chitin?
Have I said the wrong name?
I'm just figuring out whether he knows it. I'm just rolling an intelligence check. He says a chitin is that someone's daughter?
Can be Frosty, yes.
Is she an icy maiden?
Indeed. I'll have 3 of those, please.
He nods. He says, it's not really that fiery, but we got some herbs that we put in a cask, some chili, and I think the other one was ginger.
Oh, nice. Sounds good.
He pours 3 ales out, and he says, 8 copper, please.
I'll chuck him the 8 copper.
Will you be having any food?
Yes, please, and possibly some board if you have a room.
He nods. He says, we've got 2 rooms available. We've got a private suite, double bed, and we've got the communal area. We've got a couple of beds in there.
Well, I'll have 3 for the communal area, please.
He nods. He says, silver a night for communal. Per person.
Per person. Okay. I'll give him the 3 silver.
He nods and takes the silver, and he says, meals for room and board, just a copper for the meals extra.
Okay. Yeah, so that's 6 copper, is it? And then 3 silver.
Yeah. He goes over to the fireplace and he pulls out next to it a big pot that looks like it's got various stew items. And he immediately starts peeling a potato into it. He takes some dried fish out of a barrel and starts putting it in. And he starts ladling some water in. And he says, "Your stew will be over in 20 minutes on the pot."
Excellent. And I'll chuck him the copper and silver. I'll take the drinks over to the lads.
Nice one. You head over to the table. What do you guys do? There's a lot of hullabaloo. There's a few different tables around you. The table furthest away, there's the red-headed man. He's currently drinking with 2 ladies and a group of 3 guys. All of them look pretty heavily armed. There's another table next to you filled with a load of old gents. And then there's a group of young men playing cards at another table.
I go to the table of the gentleman playing cards.
They nod to you.
Do you mind if I join in? What's the buy-in?
Copper to buy in.
Okay, what are we playing?
We're playing Trout Face.
Never heard of Trout Face in my life, but I'm sure I'll be good at it.
So this game, Trout Face, is a little bit different from some of the gambling games that you've played before. So each person has a downturned mug, and all the mugs go into the center. And someone who clearly isn't part of the betting pool and looking after the money takes what looks like a small token shaped like a fish, puts it under one of the mugs, and proceeds to mix it all up. Then all the mugs get divided to people, and they basically play around without you in. And they lift up the mug, and if there isn't a fish symbol under it, they smack themselves in the face and put their money into the center. And that's Trout Face.
Gonna be interesting. Right.
I really want to play that on a night out now.
There are 6 people at the table. Lee, can you roll me a straight d6 to see if the fish is under? Unless you want to cheat. If so, tell me how you're going to cheat. Add your gambling modifier, and we'll see how we can be inventive.
First of all, it's been a while since I've used my gambling. Oh, there we are. Profession, gambler, wisdom. So it's the skill is 10. Skill modifier. I can't read that. It's too.
That's fine. I'll go to it. Let's have
too
a quick
small
look.
to see what it actually says.
So your profession, gambler, you're just looking at the total, which is 10.
Okay.
So it's d20 plus 10. But really, I want to know how you think you can cheat this game.
Well, I've noticed, obviously, what they're looking for underneath the cup. And my plan is to grab one and then just slide it underneath the cup.
Oh, so you're going to try and steal one of the fish tokens from a previous round. So maybe either you'll get it or, okay. And you're going to... I'm going to say you won't need a sleight of hand. I'm going to say maybe you'll do something like just hide it under your bowl or something. Or maybe even keep the same mug there and hope that they don't notice.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Can I get a d20 plus your gambling modifier, please, to see if you can turn this game into your favour?
22.
22. Okay, so you play a couple of rounds of Trout Face, and you find that these guys are relatively drunk, that they don't notice that you're keeping a mug with a trout symbol underneath it back, and you find that you just win a couple of hands of Trout Face, and you get 8 copper.
Okay, I'll stand up, go back to the guys, pay Ulf back the meal and the silver for the board, and start discussing how we're going to take out this chiton, and what's our plan to take it out.
Well, I guess, do you have any magical weapons, I suppose? Is your skeleton friend, is he classed as magical?
I think he's classed as dead.
He uses a non-magical weapon, Lee, from
Yeah.
what you know about this creature. He just uses a plain old greatsword that you've given him. He's just there standing in the corner. His weird face still kind of like slanted on his skull.
It's definitely not good. I don't know if it's a silver sword, because I think silver can hurt it, can't it?
Yeah, it's plain old iron sword.
Yeah, so that's going to be no good. Magical weapons, I mean, I don't have a magical weapon as such, but I could probably get like summon a monster.
Do you have a silver weapon?
The only thing I've got is my little sickle.
That is
I've
a silver
got it.
weapon.
That's silver, yeah.
sickle, Lee. But your magical attacks will work, like your cause moderate wounds. That's a magical attack.
I've got
Okay.
a silver axe spare.
Not anymore.
Oh, yeah, you don't have anything.
Yeah,
No,
you don't
I
even
haven't
have a fork.
They're all broken.
Oh, Dave, are you eating the stew?
That's a good point.
Spoons are fine.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah, he gets a spoon.
What
Spoons
if there's
are fine.
no spoons available? Maybe
No,
because he was half hour late, so maybe they think it's available as a fork.
I mean, it is soup. The guy's gonna provide a spoon with soup. I'm afraid.
Fair enough. I'll just be like with the bowl.
You can drink directly out of a bowl. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So your soup arrives and it's a hearty fish stew with potatoes.
Lovely. I'll
Awesome.
break into that like a rabid dog, starving.
yes, so I'm going to eat, and then I'm going to make my way up to the communal sleeping quarters and pray to Nex, saying sorry for the lack of killing today. We'll have a better day tomorrow, and then put my head down and go to sleep.
Cool. As you pray, you just hear someone grumble and go like, "Oh, keep it down," and then they go back to sleep and start snoring again. It's a relatively nice communal room. There's a nice fireplace at the end of it. Most people are generally quite quiet. It is open, very much like a it's just like a big room with loads of beds in. There's a nice chest in each one has a separate key. So if you want to lock your things away while you're sleeping, you can do. It just seems relatively safe. Most people are coming up, locking the stuff away, getting straight into bed, and going off to sleep.
I'll go up there as well and can have a look around. Mind you, I wouldn't know. I was going to say, Angelus, do you want to check out the sleeping area and just in case somebody looks familiar?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
I've got my skeleton next to my bed, so I'm feeling pretty comfortable.
It's just standing there. Do you give it any orders? Because it doesn't know what to do unless
Guard.
it's, guard. Okay. Guard's a bit non-specifically for...
Well,
very
if they're
simple
dead
as
when I wake up, they're dead.
Okay. So basically your command is if anyone gets within about 3 foot, attack. Is that what you're saying? Because guard is a little non-specific.
If someone goes to attack me, kill.
Okay. So anyone who's hostile, so probably within a certain radius of you, or has a weapon and is getting near
Look,
you. Okay.
if someone's stupid enough to walk up to a skeleton that's clearly dead,
But you've disguised it
they
so
have-
expertly.
I mean, it probably stinks. Surely they're not going to come up close to it. One would
There's a little
hope.
pouch of spices. That's disguised.
Yeah, it's got its pouch for them, so it's fine.
Look, I will be asleep. It will all be fine. If I wake up and there's a massive massacre, it's not going to be the first time.
Fair enough. So yeah.
I have a look around and just see is there any windows.
Yes, there is a window. It's a relatively thin window. Wooden. It's unfortunately there isn't a lot of glass on it. It's just like a wooden barred one with a shutter on the inside.
Okay, yeah.
At the moment, it's partially open on a catch, on a metal catch. So there's just a slight breeze coming in, but really it's sort of airing out the smoke that's sort of the overspill from the fire.
Yeah. Okay. I'll set myself down somewhere to sleep that's completely opposite to that window so I can see it as I'm falling asleep.
Cool. Yeah, there's a couple of beds spare. You've just been told to take one. There's one relatively close to the opposite of the window. To be fair, there's only one window in this room, and it's got a relative length. It's probably about 30, 40 foot in length, this room. It's quite a long room.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll go to bed as well. Keeping envy on my chest.
Cool. You guys wake up in the morning. It's a new day. You hear maybe a few people milling around at night. It's not the best sleep you've ever had, but also at the same time, it's dead comfortable. It's not the hard beds of nature. It's not the floor of Adstad's house. It's it's a nice place to go to sleep. So apart from the noise, you guys sleep relatively soundly. You wake up to people getting up for the day, dressing, using one of the buckets and rags at the end, filling it with the warm water that's been brought up by the tavern owner, and just generally sponging themselves down for the day, ready to go, cleaning some equipment. Some people are cleaning things like axes. Other people are getting out things like baskets for the day, ready to go collect, or other people who are, getting rope, tying it round them, ready to have a day doing another day's work.
Is there anybody that looks like they've got weapons on them, or quite strong, looking for a good fight?
People aren't necessarily armed the same level as you guys are. You're probably the most heavily armed in the city, and in fact, you've had a few strange looks with how heavily armed you guys are going around the town. Not everyone enters the city with a great sword, a bow on a bow or a dagger, something that people usually carry around. So most people aren't as heavy as armed as you guys. There's a few small axes, but they're like wood cutting axes. Most people just tend to have a small dagger at their waist.
Okay, no one that can help us kill this creature then.
A lot of working people in a place like this. No one that you know of who's staying here anyway. It's relatively cheap in. Do you ask anyone?
No, if I look around and I can't see anyone that's, there's no one with decent silver weapons or anyone that might be magical,
Give me a perception to see if you can see if anyone's magical or not.
$24.
You don't see anyone magical, but you see a few holy symbols round people's necks, a few gods that you recognise. Caessus being one of the most common symbols around people's neck. The other one, which is the tree and the pair of hands embracing the tree, the symbol of a swayer. That's another common one. There is, strangely enough, a young man with a symbol of nex at his waist.
Okay. I'll go up and introduce myself. Hi, I notice a symbol next there. You had a good couple of days?
He nods and then he takes an approaching look at you. Are you a cleric of Nex?
Straight up say yes.
He drops to his knees, and can I get a knowledge religion check off you, Lee?
$22.
There's something off about his religious symbol. It is a symbol of Nex, but it's like a hand-me-down version of the symbol of Nex. It's like if you described the symbol of Nex to someone who had no idea what the symbol of Nex looked like, the sickle and the skull. Normally the positioning is quite precise. Yeah, basically that would be that would be an adequate conclusion to draw. He's a wannabe, basically. He says, We have no shepherd to lead us. We've tried.
How
Sorry.
many? How many is we?
Myself, my family, my neighbours. We have believed in Nex for some time now. One of my friends found a book, but we have not been able to access the power. We don't have the right information. And he opens his pack and takes out a small notebook with a few pages in, and he presents it to you.
Excuse me. Well, I look at the book. Do I see spells that I recognise, or is there some new spells that I don't know of?
This isn't a spell book. This is like a rumour mill of like myths that people know about Nex. There's a lot of false things in there about rituals. There's nothing really of use in here. Normally, as a cleric of Nex, you would undertake quite a significant education. One being about the different parts of the body, ligaments, how to inject holy and unholy magic into people, prayers, rituals, things like that. You get quite a significant education as a cleric, even if someone isn't undertaking cleric training because they're not necessarily magical, would know basic healing techniques, prayers, things like that. This is a book of it's basically a wannabe book.
Okay.
It's like someone's made up their own rituals, but there's a crude symbol of Nex drawn on. This is someone who has no idea what they're talking about, but has heard it described to them before. So these people don't have actually the scripture that you would know. This isn't going to grant them power. A cleric isn't going to rise up from their ranks. They're wannabes.
Okay, I was just asking what his address is and tell him that I'll pop over later on and give him some great insight and return to Ulf and Angelus.
Okay. He tells you that they live on the boardwalk, and he describes a location to you.
Sure. I have no intention of going to see him.
Could you not say how would you like to get more in with Nex by coming to help us?
I thought
Cannon
about that,
fodder?
but it's just going to die.
Well, yeah. Is that what Nex is all about?
Oh yeah, but like they may be distracting. We may not be able to shut them up. We don't need them. If they had like decent weapons, then we could have took them with us and put them in the front line to go stab with their silver weapons. But this guy hasn't got a clue.
Well, I just suppose if this thing gets more powerful with the more people it eats.
Yeah,
so
just be feeding it, won't we?
yeah.
Before you leave or before you turn away, he puts out a hand to touch you, but he's sort of like in awe, so he doesn't. He says, "Will you guide us? Will you minister us? We want to know more. We want to be able to serve Nex correctly."
Oh, you will serve next. I'll come see you later on.
He nods.
So I return to the table.
Okay. You're back with the others. Oh, are you guys downstairs now?
Yeah. That's
Yeah, we'll go downstairs.
So the barman.
Sorry, is breakfast included?
You don't know. Breakfast being included wasn't mentioned, but the barman is baking some bread. He's got it in the oven, and it's just a series of like flatbreads. And yeah, it's just bread. It seems breakfast would be.
Cool.
Bread's
Nice.
better than nothing.
yeah. And I'll just say so. While the morning's young, then should we deal with what we need to deal with?
So before we go do that, what's everybody's health like?
I'm actually not too bad.
Yeah, I'm 42 out of 54.
I had a day without combat yesterday, so what would that take my health up by?
Oh yes, you would do
actually,
some
same, yeah.
healing, wouldn't you? Let's have a quick look. So it would be your level plus your constitution.
Level
so
3.
for you, you're level 5.
Oh, 5. like 2 behind for some reason in my head.
And your constitution is +1.
Well, that takes me back up to full anyway.
I don't get that, do I? Because I was technically in combat.
Now you were in combat, I'm afraid. So, Lee, you restore yourself by 6.
So I'm on 34.
Yeah, I'm only 4 down, so that puts me on full.
That's good.
I'm just going to check it's not +1 per level. So, healing. Pathfinder. Want to make sure I get it right. Natural healing, you recover 1 hit point per character level. Second, natural healing.
Makes a change as not being in combat.
Yeah.
1 per point per night of rest. That's healing ability damage. Magical healing. With full night of rest, 8 hours sleep, you recover 1 hit point per character level. Any significant interruption during your rest prevents you from healing that night. If you undergo complete bed rest for an entire day and night, you recover twice your character level and hit points, which you haven't done. It says nothing about constitution. Afraid you don't add your constitution, Lee. It is just
That's
5 heal by.
33 then.
Yep, sorry. I must be thinking of a legacy D&D rule.
That's all right. Okay, not a problem. Easily corrected. So that's fine. I'm only 2 off my max health anyway. I say we go attack. Shall we go?
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
So head off to towards the chiton.
Cool. So the chiton is in the ice house, and it doesn't take long for you to arrive there because it's just slightly off the boardwalk. It's the large building. It's already been described to you. So you guys find yourself outside the ice house. Eerily, no one's around. The door's been taped up, and there's a couple of crates waiting outside. You can feel the cold coming from inside this place already. And you guys are currently outside.
Cool. It's ooh.
So do we know where the chiton is, or do we need to go inside? Can we see it from where we are?
No, the doors are shut, and there is a large piece of red ribbon strapped across the door, and there's a chain on the door as well. So it looks like someone's clearly saying don't enter, and it's locked up.
Okay. Are there any windows or anything we can see through?
No, this is a nice house, which means the whole place is just boarded up with wood. It's a huge insulated building. From what you know about ice houses, because most of the villages where you're from have them, often there's huge blocks of ice inside of them, and the place is just covered with sawdust, which acts as the insulation. The walls are piled through, and there's often sort of 2 walls just piled with insulation made of wood and a big insulated roof as well. So they are fire hazards, but extremely cold inside. Normally a big block of ice will last all summer as it will sustain itself. Unfortunately, if you do get some ice or take some ice away, it just ends up covered in sawdust or whatever. If there's been fish on it, it smells of fish. They're quite unhygienic things, but it's the way to keep food cold.
Okay.
Shall we burn it down?
Okay.
Send your friend in first, Giles.
I mean, it's not going to tell us, though, is it, where it is?
I'm just thinking. Oh, did you say you had a silver axe? Oh, you didn't have a silver axe, have you? Because everything's broken.
Tell you what, just in case there's any traps, let's take a step back and send in Skelly Bob. I don't remember the game name.
Before you do that, then I'll give you my silver dagger to give to your skeleton.
Okay, you got a spare one, have you?
I've got a silver dagger. Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. So give it a silver dagger, and I send it in Paris with the command to attack anything, any moving creature it comes across inside there, even if it's a cockroach.
Cool, nice and specific, like it. It heads up to the door and doesn't proceed further because it can't open it. It just kind of bangs its body uselessly against it as the chains rattle.
Okay. Can one of you guys just swipe the chains?
Sure, we'll open it up. Can we?
I'm saying, can you dot pick, Dave?
I was just wondering that. Can I?
You can. It's your disabled device score. You already have the thieves' tools to do it.
Oh yeah, 13. Yeah, nice. Okay, I'll just say I'll go to do that.
There's a lock hanging there. It's quite a big one. It doesn't look particularly simple to resolve. But yeah, you put in your thieves' tools and start working away. What did you roll?
8.
And your total?
Plus for my disabled device, 13, 21.
21. So the lock rattles and it takes a little while, but eventually you just get the nice little click and the padlock springs open. And the chains just start unraveling.
Awesome.
So our skeleton's hopefully still going to be carrying out that command.
Yeah. So it keeps bumping against the door, and eventually the door swings a bit, and the skeleton just takes its hand, opens it, and then heads straight in. It is dark inside the ice house, incredibly dark, and you guys can't see further in than what the sunlight trickles, but you hear the skeleton walk inside, and silence. How long do you wait?
Oh. Is there any way for us to light up the inside?
There is. If I touch one of your arrows with my light spell, and then you just fire it inside somewhere, hopefully that'll give some more light.
Yeah, I'll do that, yeah.
Okay, so if I touch the tip of one of your arrows and give it light.
Cool. Let's have a quick look at the light spell.
It's a level 0 spell, and it lasts for 10 minutes.
Nice. So yeah, you light up one of Ad's arrows. Are you going to fire it in, Ad?
Yeah, I'll fire it in there, yeah.
Nice. So it causes something to glow like a torch. So really you get a decent light radius around it. For those of you with low light vision, actually you can see quite a bit. Have I got any shadow on this, or can I reveal this up? You guys can already see everything inside, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's hide some areas then.
Not that it helps, because all I saw was a skeleton and some things around it, but I didn't see any
Cool.
beasts.
Beasties. Yeah.
No.
That's all you guys can see now.
Should have lit up the
Inside
skeleton.
here.
Yeah.
Well, we can go. Well, still, we can see the skeleton still there. The thing is, the skeleton went in and there's nothing, so it hasn't found anything. It's just stopped. So maybe I will walk in.
Are you sure?
Actually, can I tell the skeleton to come back to me?
Yeah, because you can.
Cool.
Skeleton turns around, straight back to you.
I touch it and light up a skeleton and tell it to go attack anything it finds living wise or dead creatures
That isn't us.
on the right.
That isn't
us. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So it's just going to kind of walk around, and you see some bits. I'm going to reveal some bits and bobs, though, you know, they may change as the skeleton walks around. And you can kind of see the majority of the place inside of here, but it doesn't look like it can find anything. Give me a second. Yeah, not the most perceptive creature. It's just walking around unchallenged with the dagger in its hand. Great sword strapped to its back.
We're going to have to go in, aren't we? Dalek.
After a while, it just continues milling around the skeleton, like it'll do your command until it dies. So it's continually walking around. It doesn't get tired of patrolling.
And listening, we can't hear anything besides the skeleton shuffling around.
Can I get a perception from you all, please?
Dave, can you just reset your microphone as well?
Static.
20 altogether for me.
25.
What's my perception? 13.
As you peer through the door, for those of you who got over 20, you notice the chains above are just rattling very so slightly, like there's a wind, even though there isn't a wind. You feel a change in air in the room. It's very cold on the right-hand side of the room, incredibly deathly cold, even though there's a great chill coming from the floor, as clearly this hell ice is scattered. From the right-hand side, it's the absolute coldest. Huge chains are currently supporting hooks that are in various carcasses around the room. One looks like a whole cow. The others, there's crates of fish just scattered around, all covered in this sawdusty ice. But there's generally larger carcasses of various creatures. And you notice 2 humans swinging very softly from 2 hook chains on the end, their blood frozen on the floor. Their faces twisted in horror.
Come on, guys, let's go in.
You're right there.
Yep. You first, mate. Just before we do, can I light a torch?
Yeah, of course you can.
Fabulous. I don't have a torch on me. Yeah, I've got 2 on me. Yeah,
I mean, you have a magical item that does exactly the same thing.
Oh, God, yeah, I've got me orb. I know. I am thinking about fire, keeping us a bit warmer.
I mean, most of you are wearing cold weather gear.
I'll use the magical item I've had for ages and forgot about. Yeah, so I'll release
Summary of the last 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm going in.
Cool.
I look around. 14.
Cool. You can't see where the chitin is, but there's certainly a particularly thick mound of ice just here. And really, the longest chains with hooks are there.
Okay. I look towards Angela, so yeah. Shall we head towards that?
I'm like, Giles, send your skeleton to smash at that ice.
Like you're thinking. Send skeleton, go smash that clump of ice over to right there.
What weapon would you like him to use?
I'd like it to use the dagger just to stab at it.
Okay, cool.
Silver dagger that we've given it.
Cool. It goes over and begins to swing the dagger against the ice again and again and again. And after about 2 or 3 hits, you notice that the ice isn't really giving in, but the dagger's starting to blunt and twist. And it's just going to keep hitting it again and again.
Okay, we just had to stop.
Okay, cool. The dagger's a little bit damaged, but still a bit serviceable. But yeah, this ice hasn't. He's a lot harder than the steel knife.
We've got anything hot that we can melt it with? Have I got anything that I can set fire to it?
Summon a hellhound.
So your spells, Lee, you've got some higher level spells. You've got things like continual flame, but that's about that's more of a flame that's quite bright.
Do I have access to the Hellhound? I thought that got taken away.
So you've got Summon Monster 3. I just quickly check if that's powerful enough for a Hellhound. No, sorry, Hellhound's next level up. You can summon a Dretch, which is a form of demon. You
Nothing
can
that's
summon...
on fire, though.
No, I'm afraid not. An electric eel. You could summon a leopard, a wolverine, a boar, an ape, a crocodile. These are all things you can summon, but I'm afraid nothing fiery.
What about if I... See, I've got Sun Metal, which is the effect as weapon touch bursts into flames. I'm just wondering, is there a weapon of oaths that I could potentially put on fire that's not going to destroy it too much?
Yeah, so Sun Metal doesn't destroy the weapon. It just adds a flame effect to it. So Sun Metal would work on any weapon without damaging it. It's like a blessing, a magical blessing.
I can do that, Lee, to save you using one of your spells.
Oh, okay. Do you want to do that and try it on the ice and see if it works?
So now I'm reluctant to whip out
Nah.
just yet, just in case. Which would leave my club, I suppose, or bow.
It has to be on metal.
Oh, it has to be on metal.
I'll just double check that, but I thought it would have to be metal.
It's called Sun Metal, isn't it? So it must be.
So it's a level 1 spell, isn't it, Lee? Sun Metal.
Yeah.
I don't know. Actually,
What a melee weapon is the specifics. Weapons wielder hits with this weapon. It deals an additional 1d4. It's not multiplied. It's not stacked with flaming. Gives a fire. Does not function on weapons with the frost or icy burst weapon special ability or any other effect that grants cold damage. It does not specify metal. It just says one melee weapon. It will work on your work on your club.
Club, I guess. I'll light up my club with some metal then. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Just a melee weapon.
So it works only for 1 round.
Oh, okay. I've got 2 rounds written on my thing for some reason.
Oh, do you? Oh, sorry. 1 round per level. So yeah, that'll be for you. You're a level 2 spellcaster because you've been able to cast rounds for 2. Yeah, so 2 rounds for you.
Yeah, cool. I'll cast that on my club then, I suppose, and hold my club out.
Cool.
And I'll toss my club at that icy mount.
Are you going to throw it?
Yeah.
Wise choice. D20 to see if you can hit, please. Plus your dexterity modifier.
So that's 19 plus my dexterity. 21 then.
Cool. As the club hits it, it does do the fire damage to it, and it melts only ever so slightly. And you notice that the water drips away, and then as it gets to sort of a room temperature with the fire, it just kind of evaporates. And then how long do you wait?
I guess, and I don't know, until it burns out, until the 2 rounds finish, I suppose, is it?
Okay, 2 rounds finish. No more burning happens. It's just lost a little bit of bulk on the ice, not a whole lot. You've not done a significant amount of ice, sort of melt damage. There's just like now a club-shaped hole.
Okay.
In the hard ice.
This hasn't taunted whatever the creature is then.
Can I use inflict moderate wounds even though I can't physically see the creature?
No, you have to be able to touch the creature, Lee. So that's why.
Okay.
Did you have a torch, Angela?
I do have a torch, yeah.
Could we light a torch, give it to your skeleton to jab in there?
Yeah.
Or hold near
let's
it.
do it.
Hold near it as well.
Excuse me. Have we got I was going to say any petrol.
I don't think any of you have oil, do you?
I've got no liquids now.
No, but I've got possibly just the torch. He's like, what? I can light a torch for you, though.
Yeah, we'll stay lit for a while.
Take a swing at it with envy. See what happens.
Do what, sorry?
Give envy a swing.
At the ice block.
Hmm.
I could throw it from where you are, couldn't you?
Go on then. I'll throw envy at it.
Cool. Give me a d20 to hit. How far away is it from you? Let's have a look. 30 foot. So for you, Dave, that is something that's 30 foot away. You get a +5 to hit. So d20 plus
Cool.
5.
So 15 to 20.
20, that's a hit. Roll for damage.
Ooh. 2. I rolled.
Takes a chunk out of the ice, and Envy's immediately back at your hand. You notice one of the chains begins with a hook on it, begins to twitch, and it begins to head up it back into the rafters.
Oh, shit.
It's above us, isn't it? It's totally above us.
Can I look up?
Yeah, of course you can look up. It's very dark up there. The chains hang down, and just kind of some of them clink together. But where you are, the chains are very few and far between. They're mostly dense within. I'll show you the area. So between these areas, the chains are dense. There's just like really dense series of chains here with the humans hanging on it and the various animals. So here's clearly where they chain up all the meat.
Shall we fire?
Here, there's a couple of
arrow?
chains, but none of them have hooks on.
Yeah. Shall we fire a lighting up arrow into the ceiling?
Sounds like a good idea.
It's gonna be a terrible idea. We're gonna get attacked.
Cool. Can you ping which area you're going to fire it into?
It's got to be off because Dave can't use any arrows.
That's it. Up here, like
Yeah, I'll just fire it up there, yeah.
Up there. Okay, cool. You draw back. Lee, you give it the light spell.
Yeah, I touched the tip of the arrow, lights it up.
Cool. You fling it into the ceiling, and just before it goes past and sails past that area, you notice at the densest part of the chains, you see just the shadow and just a tiny bit of a blue creature wrapped in chains, long black hair, and you see clawed hands and just ice dripping down from it and red streaks like it's recently fed. And then all of a sudden the arrow just sails past and it goes dark again. And you see 3 more chains begin to head up. And then a 4th one just slowly follow it, like a really heavy one with a human on.
Oh no.
Right, I Angelus, can you lob your axe at that human that's going up to try and make it fall off that chain?
You can't see it anymore. The light, the arrow's gone back. It's still now dark up there. You're gonna need to fire an arrow that's gonna stick up there.
There goes another meal.
Can you guys roll initiative for me, please? Just to determine some sort of round order now, if that's okay.
3.
Plus initiative.
15 for me.
15 for Ad.
12 for me.
For Dave. Even with your +7, that's bad luck.
Yeah, I roll bad then.
Just quickly roll for this creature.
I feel like this is a battle for next week at 8 p.m. Angelus.
Yeah.
Okay. So before you guys go, I'll do this creature's go first. And you hear a massive amount of chain clinking in the ceiling, and it gets louder and louder. It goes, you hear like clink, 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 until the clinking's right above you, and you see hooks just hanging over all your head. And that is the end of this session of Adventures in Norvale.